We're about to do a 1 versus 80 as Dechala. Now the question is this actually possible? We can see that Imric is max level with a relatively strong army. We've also used the console commands mod to spawn in more armies for us to fight to make it a fair battle, because this is my stat line, so we want to make sure it's as fair as possible. We've got Torox with an incredible roster of really powerful Minotaurs, alongside all of the Gorgons and Jebuslives. We have Scarbrand himself with some very strong infantry, some very strong cavalry, Bloodthirsters, and Slaughter Brutes. We also have Kugath with a ton of Soul Grinders of Nurgle. And on the left, all we have is Dechala. So, without further ado, we're going to quick save this one. If you're wondering what Dechala used before the battle stats, we had the Trickster's Helm, Sword of Cain, Death Singer for regeneration, Ring of Sensation, because we already have like 900 ward save, so the Talisman Preservation does nothing. And also, we wanted to use the Gift of the Perfect Death, so we had Execution on all of the things that we were fighting. And jump into it and see if we can actually do a 1 versus 80 and see if that's actually possible. This is the continuation of the video that I released relating to one-shotting all lords. This is still the same save file of it taking absolutely forever to set up Dechala to be in this position. Generally speaking, I believe I mentioned it takes 1.4 million thralls, and it takes roughly 100 plus turns, because obviously the main thing is you need to get as many capital settlements as possible. As if you're not aware, you get 5% ward save, and you get 10% weapon strength for each tier 5 pleasure building that you have. So I'm just going to go ahead and start the battle and start doing work against the Soul Grinders. I think the only problem I'm going to have in this scenario is the stagger that might come through. We have managed to get ourselves a decent barrier, so I'm going to make sure that we're just two-shotting that. No worries. Okay, yep, just one-shotting that one. Nope, not a problem. Oh, one-shotted that. Okay. Okay, no worries. Let's just keep one-shotting these, I guess. Not a problem. Ooh, let's put ourselves in a stance so we've got a little bit more damage. Let's see what Kugath's saying. Oh, we just two-shot to Kugath. Okay, not a problem. Let's go ahead and focus on Imric then, if he's the one that's coming near us. I am going to start throwing out my spells at the same time. I think in this scenario I'm just going to go with melee defense, because as you can tell, I really, really do not need any additional damage. We are going to go with the old slicey slice and throw some spells on top of ourselves. What we're wanting to make sure to do is focus fire on any of these single entities that are in front of us, because this is going to be the main problem. The problem that I'm going to have in this scenario now is the fact that I'm going to have issues. I'm going to have issues relating to any of the splash damage happening. So if you're not aware, splash damage, basically, depending on your max attacks, means that my damage will be spread across multiple entities at the same time, which is obviously a bit of a bad thing per se for me, because I have 11,000 weapon strength and I will most likely be able to one-shot most of these guys. So the challenge that I'm going to have is just, ensuring that I'm able to do enough damage to one-shot where possible. I'm going to be blobbed up pretty significantly. Anytime someone runs in, though, I will take advantage of that, because I believe a lot of my okay, never mind. I was going to say a lot of my damage will be split across all of these guys, but she may be considered a duelist, so most of my damage is actually consolidated, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to use this one because it's just going to make me really tired, but then again, I do actually have Perfect Vigor, so I don't really see... Oh yeah, it reduces my stat line as well. So yeah, it reduces my damage by quite a bit. So yeah, let's not do that. I think we're better off more consistently doing this. You can see as well, we're getting loads of debuffs going out, and we've got really good, solid corruption damage coming out from the Crown of Corruption. We also have the Sword of Cain, as you saw. We've got a lot of very powerful equipment on us. So, oh, yeah, almost one-shot Scarbrand. I think if we were actually in the relevant stances, we would have one-shot him there. But yeah, nothing really is a problem at the moment. You can see a lot of Slaughter Brutes are coming in. I believe the Slaughter Brutes do have Unbreakable. So from a damage taken perspective, I don't think it's much. I'm not really too concerned. Let's just start working on these guys now. It might be worthwhile trying to escape if I can get away from these, because I will be able to go one-shot some Soul Grinders again. Yep, there you go. Good night. I think the only concern I'm going to have is the stagger. The staggering might become a problem because of the Soul Grinder's projectile, but we're all right. Yeah, let's go ahead and one-shot these guys again. I think just one-shotting a lot of these while I have the opportunity to do so before I get blobbed up by loads of units. I think I'm going to take the opportunity to do that. Let's go ahead and pause it. Oh my god, just look at this damage. I think this is what probably it'll feel like to be like a Space Marine in 40k, murdering like absolute plebeians. But yeah, this is not too bad, folks. I think this is... yeah, okay. Let me go ahead and one-shot some more of those soul grinders. Actually, no, do you know what? We will have an opportunity to use the slicey slice. So while these guys are all close together, I'll use a slicey slice into hopefully one-shotting the soul grinder on this side. Yeah, lovely jubbly. And yeah, like I said, I just don't need any other stances because my melee attack is already insane. I have a ton of bonuses as infantry and a ton of bonuses as large already, so I'm not too concerned about that. I think the only concerning things, like some of the Gorgons are going to be quite scary, but one other thing I've noticed about Dechala from playing her quite a bit recently is her hitbox seems to be very off. And what I mean by that is, I think people actually really, really struggle to hit her. Okay, just pop that one. Just due to the fact that she is very, 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 like, snake. Well, I mean, she's a snake. I was going to say very snaky. Literally, she is a snake. But she has the ability to evade quite a lot of projectiles alongside quite a lot of damage in general, just due to the fact that she's, like, dancing all over the place. Like, if you look at her now, as you can see... Hold on, where is she? Oh, she slid the wrong way here. So, she's turned around. She is getting battered. A lot of things are landing on her. But as you can see, yep, she just one-shot that guy. No problem. Okay, there's a Gorgon now. Let's see what she does here. Okay, let's see. Let me go back into it because we have a couple more units coming forward now. A lot of things are coming in and spawning. One thing I want to make sure to do is have units that are unbreakable as well as we start doing this. So what is our current amount of... Wait, why does it keep hiding? It's kind of trolling me here. I can't check what my current damage dealt is, but we'll do that in a second. Let me see. Okay, never mind. I'm getting pranked a little bit here, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and kill the Khorne's Bloody Fist of Bloodthirster. There's a reasonable chance I'll one-shot it just because of the fact that there's nothing around. Yep. Okay. What we'll do is now some of the Great Weapon anti-large Marauders are coming in, so okay. Yep. So we're going to be a little bit careful, I suppose. Yep, okay. Maybe a little bit careful of those. I think we should be okay, though, because we are doing the crown damage. So if you're not aware, we are basically max power. I don't believe I can get Dechala any stronger. I mean, I know that the Death Sing and Death Song, I believe it is, I can get a really, really good trait from that. So maybe we could get her... Wait, what's going on here? If this ain't the AI in a nutshell, I don't know what is. Hold on, let me just run over here and start firing at them. Because I can do this and rampage a ton of them into the crown damage and then start one-shotting some of these guys as well. So here is where I was concerned with how... Oh my god, I almost one-shot it completely. Okay, I was going to say this is where I was quite concerned about what was going to happen in this scenario, but... I think, judging from what Dechala just did then, my concerns just dispelled. I think that a lot of the concerns that I did actually have, as I'm sure you can imagine, have dissipated. I'm not that concerned anymore. I don't necessarily know how much healing I have done thus far. I don't believe it's much. So we're on 84k damage dealt as gold value currently. And I believe there should still be units pouring in. Yeah, there should still be a good amount of units pouring in. I just imagine they really didn't envision me being able to do this with one specific lord, so the AI is probably pretty confused. Mainly because of the fact that I quite literally one-shot every single soul grinder that is within existence of the area. I would be terrified personally. So honestly, if I was on like the lines over here and I saw Dechala one-shotting a soul grinder and other units like this, I just wouldn't come into the battlefield. You can call me a coward, you can call me whatever you want. I think that's just logic, to be honest. At that point, I think that is just basic logic of this unit has done a ridiculous amount of damage. You probably don't want to mess with Dechala because she is the greatest one-man doomstack that has ever been created. I did make a video that stated that, and a lot of people disagreed with me, but this is incredible amounts of power creep that I haven't seen for a very, very, very long time. I mean, Kugath was actually the best duelist by a long way. But I think due to the fact that you can get such insane resistances and execution and things like that, I think it's very hard to give him the specific crown of being the strongest. I mean, after I know as a fact that I'm going to be able to like crush the majority of these units. One thing I would be interested to know is there any kind of composition that would be able to beat me? That's a shame. Wait, I thought these guys were unbreakable. Well, okay. Let's go ahead and clear off the inventory. What I might have to do is just figure out an entire army of unbreakable units because this was ridiculous. Yeah, this just truly was ridiculous, and I'm very surprised. I unintentionally killed Taurox then as well. Yeah, this is something that I'm quite surprised by. So I think I'm probably correct in saying that Dechala is the most overpowered lord that I've ever been. And I think this has truly demonstrated it. But guys, let me know down below who can defeat Dechala. Because it sure as hell is not all of those units. Let's go ahead and end the battle. And let's just save it. And then let's go ahead and see what the end looks like. So keep in mind, I can basically recreate or create any army composition you can actually think of due to the console command mod. So let me know who can beat Dechala. Because the answer for me is nobody. And I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are. I would love to hear the theory crafting behind it. Because a mage is a liability. I don't need magic when I'm one-shotting quite literally everything. So you do please theory craft in the comments. Oh my god, it's taking ages. Because sometimes you do get a little bit more gold value, depending on the fights, depending on who's run away. So let's see. Did we get to 1,000 kills before? No, we didn't. So that is what we're working with. 106,000 damage dealt as gold value. In fact, we could have even used this to make it a little bit more stronger, but this is what we fought against and actually crushed. We fought against 19 Soul Grinders and Nurgle, Kugath at level 50. We fought against Imrik at level 50, loads of dragons and some of his units. We fought against Taurox with Gorgons and loads of Minotaurs and Jabberslives. We went against Scarbrand at level 50 with loads of very high tier units. The Slaughter Brutes didn't really get a chance to fight. But yeah, let me know down below who you think Dechala is able to lose against. One thing I will actually do is I'll show you what equipment I was using.